back to another video. Welcome back to Right Narrative. It's okay to be curious. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for future video uploads, and drop a comment. The opening ceremony, it commenced, and that's really what we can talk about. We had a lot of athletes popping up out of the woodworks. We haven't seen a lot from the Jamaica camp leading up to this ceremony, and now we have seen a lot. We have seen enough that we could talk about. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she was obviously unavailable from the opening ceremony. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she was just making waves. However, still talk about her, whether she's available or not. Noah Lyles, he will let himself be heard. He said he's the fastest man alive, but then he apologized on maybe an hour later. How about that? I'm gonna get into that one as well. Team Jamaica, they had a uniform it's worth talking about. How do you rate the opening ceremony and the men 100 meters and other things? We are going to talk about all this. Well, let's get into Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she is truly a brand ambassador. She got one of the best gifts from Nike as a brand ambassador. They had a banner set up with her in her honor at the Nike headquarters. So a banner at the Nike headquarters, that's a big deal. That's a big deal because she's a big deal. She been there, she won that. And exactly what the banner said, been there, won that. How about that for an island girl from a small island, a little part of the island coming out and being big deal, a brand ambassador, having fans all over the world. Fans like Michaela Blythe. Michaela Blythe is a New Zealand athlete who happens to have Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce in the highest regard. It's one of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is literally her idol, and she was so delighted to meet Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. The reaction is out of this world. She cried. She absolutely cried when she saw her. And how was it that she was able to see her? Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce did not show up to the ceremony, to the opening ceremony. She decided that she was going to walk around and meet and greet. Obviously, that's what happened here. I don't think that's what she decided. I don't know. But she was not at the ceremony, and as a result, the fan was able to meet her and greet her. But how is it that this is an opening ceremony for a big event like Olympics, and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce being the elite athlete that she is not there? It seems like Jamaica had a choice to send athletes or not, but Jamaica had a very small amount of athletes on the boat. I think they were only allotted a certain amount of spot. They weren't allowed to send everybody, so they chose some athletes. Some athletes choose not to be there, some they chose to be there. Seems like a very relaxed opening ceremony compared to what we saw in the past. In the past, there would have been everybody at the ceremony walking and waving and just being present for the ceremony. But this being a boat ride of sorts with limited space, only a few athletes were able to attend. I think it would have been 24 or 25 athletes, and then the other delegation team members, they would have completed the rest of that ceremony. But Jamaica had been to so many ceremonies, they would have known, the elite athlete, they would have known what to expect, so I guess they opt out. Noah Lyles, he said he's the fastest man alive, and when he was on the boat, he confirmed it quite reassuringly. And then he went to a post and he apologized. He said, I would like to address the comments surrounding the world fastest man and fastest woman. It's a title that is allocated to the winner of the world championship. And after you win the world championship, you get the title of the world fastest man or woman. And he apologized for the disrespect or the discredit that may have happened for those athletes who created very fast time in the past. But it was not intentional. It's not his fault. He did not give himself the title. The title was given to him. So with any new athlete coming out and running faster time than him, it's their fault not to have run it before, because only in the past matters. So don't try to discredit what he did in the past. And let's move on to the Jamaica uniform. Team Jamaica uniform. How did you rate that uniform? Was it something spectacular? Did it pop out at you? What was it? For me, it popped out. It had the beautiful colors, the black, green, and gold, but that's where it stopped. It's beautiful. We know it's Jamaica. If you see it, if you saw them half mile away, you know that Jamaica is down there. It's obvious. Jamaica is down there. It popped out at you. But the athletes, they're also really beautiful people. They made it work. It may not work for you and me, people who are not extremely beautiful, but the colors always works for you. I don't know what else to say about the uniform. It's good though, it's nice. For some people who are fashion forward, it would work. For some of us who are not fashion forward, we'd have to stand close to those who are fashion forward. The opening ceremony. How do you rate the opening ceremony? I think the opening ceremony is a ceremony for the age of social media. For people who is attached to their phones, people who will be like this all day, every day, you know. You don't look at what's really happening in front of you. They will create a movie and they put it on the phone for you to watch. For those people who are in that moment on the boats going by, they will just have to enjoy themselves among themselves until it's over, you know. But it was okay. It's a different type of opening ceremony. It's not one that, it's one showing off the greatness of a country, the tragedies that it had gone through, and the future of the country. It showed the great fashion brand, the great fashion statements. It showed everything that was great about their pride, what they pride themselves on. Not how they got great really, but just the result of the greatness. Overwhelming much? No, I'm not sure. I can say this though, Jamaica might not have gotten more than 30 seconds in that commercial, in that little TV presentation that they had. Maybe 30 seconds at most before it switched to the torch that got maybe another minute or so. So I think Jamaica did not respect that ceremony in terms of the amount of people they sent or who they sent, but it wouldn't have made any difference because a lot of this was pre-made. It was a pre-made ceremony. So Jamaica still would have gotten only 30 seconds, while the US got maybe 10 minutes. You know, Jamaica is going to beat the US in sprint, but US got 10 minutes. However, the US plays basketball, and basketball is the only sport in the world. The men 100 meters, there's a debate about who could win that one. It's a big enough debate. I think it's a legitimate conversation held around that sport, only because Noah Lyles had been preparing for that sport. He had been getting faster and faster, but he had a little bit of a hurdle to overcome. Previously, he would have created a competition between him and Oblique Seville, but then it changed a little bit when Keishane Thompson came into the conversation. Now, Keishane Thompson is a hurdle for him and Oblique Seville, and you could see a lot of other athletes riding and flowing under the radar. This event is wide open. It could be for anybody. And Noah Lyles, nonetheless, is looking to get this more than anybody else. The US overall want to get this. And Oblique Seville, one that we are kind of just saying, there is possible he could get into it. He's saying that be faithful, have faith. That's the only message that he have for Jamaicans. Have a little faith. While others are saying Oblique Seville is very fast, much faster than you think, and it's just being overshadowed because somebody else ran some fast time. But even though he's overshadowed, the guy who ran the fast time in Keishane Thompson, his entire camp, we didn't see them at the opening ceremony as well. It was just missing in action. That opening ceremony was okay, but the MVP is still unavailable to the public. I've heard in the opening ceremony that there were people, or there were camps using drone to spy on other camps. Some of these things, very interesting. Some of these athletes, they are definitely going to be working below, under the radar, try to use the element of surprise, because while athletes are talking with their mouths, they're training behind the scenes, and they're causing a lot of, you know, psychological games to be played, and the fans, they are eating it up. The fans are out there speculating, saying whatever, and just doing whatever. I think it's good for the sport. The sport is it's evolving into something like what we see on the ESPN. We see the basketball. They're talking about basketball. They're talking up the hype, and there are athletes who are going out there with a personality to push the hype forward. The Jamaican athletes, they already push the hype forward with their past, with their history that is beat with them, and others, they're just trying to catch up. At this point, we are gonna wait. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Rewrite narrative.